prices by 24%, while at the same time, hey, it's a good dinner option.
Let them eat flakes. Yes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Attorney General Garland, who I know you missed your opportunity to sit on the bench. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
When are you going to do something about the cost? I know that companies can charge whatever they want. I'm not saying that we become like a fascist state. I'm not saying that. But I am saying, I don't know, maybe price gouging. You know, as a Floridian, I understand price gouging because as soon as there's a hurricane, a bag of ice that was $1 is now $17. I understand what price gouging is.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we not see that that's what's happening?
Yeah, and
that the companies are just gouging?
Yeah, and it's happening with food, it's happening with shelter, it's happening with clothing, it's happening everywhere along the line. Yeah, and I'm glad that they're picking individual industries, but they should be filing, frankly, hundreds of lawsuits like this.
Yes.
Hundreds, like across hundreds of industries, because it's happening everywhere. It's happening in the egg industry. They were talking about how their costs had gone up 10% as a result of supply chain issues, which is the excuse that they used, and they actually raised their cost on an average of 20% instead. So they used that as cover and just squeezed a little bit more out of people. Well, they ought to be suing egg companies. They ought to be suing all of these companies. And the danger really is not, I hear what you're saying in regards to a fear of government control, but the danger at this point is too little government control. I mean, I grew up, I read 1984, and I was inculcated with the dangers of an authoritarian state. And I get that has been a real threat from time to time. But right now, in the world today, the danger is from corporations that are too big, that corporations are too powerful, and governments that either one, do nothing, or two, actively collude with them in order to increase their profits and screw over people like you and me.
Which is what TikTok ban is all about.
Yeah.
Because, you have Mnuchin and you have Kevin from Shark Tank talking about how it needs to. I know. I had a fun time with him on my last show.
I cannot watch that show. I get so frustrated by it, and my wife will from time to time want to watch that. I can't do it. I can't sit down. I would rather watch Survivor than watch that show, and that is saying a lot for me because I do not like. But
they let the cat out of the bag with that. It should be an American-owned company. Why? Why should it be? Do I buy Estee Lauder? Yes, I do. Well, no, I don't personally, but for the point of this conversation, I do.
Yeah.
And that is a French company.
Yeah.
So do I use products from other companies that are not American owned? Absolutely, I do.
Sure.
Why does TikTok have to be American owned? Because Meta doesn't like the competition. Because YouTube, Meta, they can't. It's like the uncanny valley when you watch the reels and you watch the YouTube shorts. It doesn't capture, and they want that algorithm. Oh my God, do they want that algorithm? Because it is superior to anything that they have been able to come up with. So let the cat out of the bag. That's great. The problem is we're in an election year. Why are you guys doing this?
Yeah. Are we worried about Chinese infiltration of dollar stores? Because you can't find any products hardly in a dollar store that aren't made in China.
Facebook literally affecting the 2016 election?
Yeah.
Taking rubles in payment and literally affecting the election.
Yeah.
That is quantifiable. So if we're worried about being influenced by a company, maybe it's American companies we need to be worried about.
Right. Or what they do all the time, which is part of their basic business model, which is having an algorithm that exacerbates hate speech and anger because it gets clicks.
Right. Because we react more swiftly and more emotionally to anger-based things than we do happy.
Right,
things.
Exactly, and that's their business. But anger is more their business model than anything else, I think, because it gets clicks, it attracts attention, and they can sell ads off of it. And that's what needs to be stopped. That's what needs to be regulated. It doesn't matter whether the company is based in China or the United States. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg even really cares? These are global companies. They have more people around the world who use their product than they do in the United States. They're rootless. They're stateless. They can fly anywhere they want on a dime. They can purchase citizenship wherever they want in the world. They don't care about the United States. They don't care. They care about maybe getting into the market for China and opening markets, but they don't have any loyalty to any particular state whatsoever. Not at all.
No, and they don't need to because they pay for the fealty.
Yeah.
Meta pays, Tic Tac Pelosi, thinking that she's got a zinger on the floor.
Good one,
Somebody should tell her that vaudeville has not been popular since she was a kid.
That was so
Listen,
funny.
she made $1.2 million in 2023 alone on her Meta stocks.
Yeah. That's
why
and
that has
apps.
nothing to do with what she's gotten from lobby kickbacks.
Yeah.
Nothing to do.
And that's why
just her stock value.
I know, like there are apps that are set you up to buy the stocks that Nancy Pelosi and other people in Congress buy because somehow they are they're stock geniuses. They're incredibly successful. How do they do that? How do they get away with that? How do they know? It's almost as if they had some sort of connection or special knowledge. Do you remember?
Some sort of inside information that would help them trade better. I don't know.
I know. Maybe one of these days we'll be seeing Nancy Pelosi doing commercials with Snoop Dogg. Advertising.
I don't know. Maybe
maybe
she needs to go to Camp Cupcake. I think it's ridiculous. Yeah, there's a app that lets you trade based on profiles, and I was watching a TikTok of this gentleman logging in and showing how he used the Pelosi profile. And showing how much he's earned in the last 3 months. And you see this graph, and it's just going up and up and up. He's just trading as she trades. When she buys, he buys. Yeah. When she sells, he sells.
Wow.
That's all he does.
Wow. I just, I have got to make some changes in my IRA, I think, as a result of this. There's one thing that I want to bring up before we finish today. And that's the fact that last week, we were talking about Sleepless in Seattle versus French Kiss. And at some point in the past, I admit it, I have actually seen Sleepless in Seattle, and I can go back and see that one. And I was making a genuine effort to try and find French Kiss somewhere on streaming, and I cannot find it. I think I'm going to have to actually buy, in the year 2024, heaven forbid, an actual physical DVD of the thing because I can't find it anywhere. And I'm thinking, I got to think to myself, because of the way that you have described it, because of the way in which it actually empowers its lead female character, that it dare I say that there is a shadow ban of French Kiss going on by Big Stream. I don't know.
No.
Who is to say? But anyway, I can't find it. I want to find it and I want to see it, but I think I'm going to actually have to order a physical thing. I may have one DVD player on a computer somewhere in my house. I don't
have one.
Yeah, I know.
Years ago, we went straight to streaming. I literally got rid of all DVDs.
Yeah.
I got rid of. I mean, I think my husband has. Well, you can play on an Xbox. You can play DVDs, right?
I see. You see, I had to buy something for I don't know either. I don't have an Xbox, but I bought for $10 or $20 an external CD-ROM drive, and I'm hoping I'm hoping I can play it on that. But then I bought an old somebody gave me an old copy of The Big Lebowski, and I tried to play it and it didn't work, and I don't know whether that's the DVD that's messed up.
You have to have an application on the device if it's a laptop or a desktop.
Yeah, I guess
in order to play it.
Yeah,
like a player, like a film player.
Okay, I guess I'll search for one of those. I just figured that maybe Windows Media Player would do it, but it didn't, and I couldn't play the darn thing.
It might not be able to because of the size of the file. It might not have the capability.
Okay, all right. Well, you see, you get 60s country lyrics, you get tech advice, you get happiness reports, and just about anything you could imagine here on Facepalm America when Susanne Posel, the host of This Week Again, is on with us. And please look for her to drop the most recent episode on Sunday. That's when it's coming, and that's when you will look back at the week and be thankful that you listened to her wise and humorous words. Susanne, as always, thank you so much for being with us today on Facepalm America.
Oh, thank you for your kindness. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being with us this week on Facepalm America. It's always a pleasure to be able to make these shows for you. And in order to help us with that, we ask that you go to a platform like, we know most of you use Apple Podcasts. Some of you use Spotify too. And those are both podcasts where you can get on there. You can rate and review our podcast, and that helps more people see it. That means that we get bigger, get more support, and that means that we'll keep making episodes for you. And we'd like to do that, if that's okay with you. Thank you to Ace Elson and Rosabelle Hine, who produced the show. They do that for twosquaredmediaproductions.com. And I would like to say that until next time, I wish you would enjoy the day.